For my 400th Platinum, I wanted to do something very special, and since my 300th Platinum was Ghosts of Tsushima, it became obvious that Ghost of Yotei would be the right one to choose. Given how good the first game was, I was confident that this new one wouldn't disappoint, and it lends a certain symmetry to it all. So without any further preamble, let's just get into it. I'm just playing on medium for this run. There's no trophy related to difficulty, not yet anyway. There probably will be. So our story is, we are playing Atsu. Her family was killed and her home burned down, and she was left for dead when she was a child by this gang called the Yotei 6. And now, after training as a warrior in the south, she has returned 16 years later to seek her revenge. That's the story. We begin our journey finding the snake, the first of the 6, who asks Atsu for a light, and she immediately burns down the building in response. After draining the snake of his blood and earning the first trophy of the game, she crosses his name off her list, proving that you might be cool, but you'll never be. Wiping the name off your hit list with the victim's freshly squeezed blood kind of cool. But these injuries that she has sustained from the fight with the snake should have killed her, but she gets up, and this is what prompts the settlers to call her the Onryo, or Ghost, and this is what is going to spread her rumour and her reputation as being the Ghost of Yotei. Now that we're already down to 5 and we haven't even hit the opening title yet, we're going to hit our first region, the Yotei Grasslands. And we arrive back home, and we get some flashbacks, meeting the family. We're going to learn to play the shamisen with her mother. Good use of the touchpad here. Yep, when can I learn through the fire and flames? I'm going to use some more controls to help our father make some swords. I went a bit nuts here, bashing this sword. Yes! Oh, and now we actually get some proper tutorials on how to fight. We meet her twin brother, Jubai. The important part is parrying, of course. That's a big part of the gameplay. Got to learn to parry. You're not going to get far. I mean, I'm sure people are out there. Can you play Ghost of Yotei without parrying? Yeah, you probably can actually. How did you hang your clothes so high up? I don't see a ladder anywhere, and that's on the edge of a cliff. How do you get them down? We're going to set out and do some missions, and first on our list is to find a new horse. Apparently the one we have isn't good enough, so we travel to the old stables and help the stable hand get rid of some unwanted pests. In return, he offers you a horse, but I'm going to stick with a pale horse because Death rides a pale horse, and if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. And I named him Full Moon. Well, he's a white horse, why not? And that unlocks another trophy, naming a friend. We're going to meet Hanbei now, an ex-bounty hunter who trains us up in the dual katanas. Each area, each region, has a master of a new weapon, and these are replacing our stances from the previous game. We're going to use different weapons instead of different stances. And each of these weapons that we get can be matched with another enemy's weapon. Dual swords fight against spears better. Every weapon works on every other weapon, but you can be better countered with the right match. We're going to get another quick flashback here. Of course, there's going to be flashbacks in this game because it's going to go back to the night that everything went sideways for Atsu. And this one shows us that Atsu and Jubai, as kids, met up with Saito, who was the leader of the 6, and they're the ones that led him back to the family. Saito was looking for your father for some perceived slight that happened to him, and the kids led him right there and triggered the whole Night of the Burning Tree, or whatever it's called. Searching for more clues about the Yotei 5, we head to the Yotei Shadows Inn and kick out the rabble. We're going to use our Onryo's Howl, which is just like our rage meter, and it will scare these enemies into getting us a couple of quick easy kills. One of them will always fall over, but I can usually get about 3 kills done with this, and there is a trophy tied to getting 20 of these. So now that we've cleared the inn out of these outlaws, it kind of acts as a hub area where we can find a bunch of NPCs. These include merchants for your bow and arrows, and your armor. There's a cartographer there that you can buy maps from, but the most important one of these is Kajiro. Next to him will be a board where we will find our bounties, and these are new things to the game. There are usually about 3 on offer. You can pull them all down and have them all running at the same time. Sometimes you might even find a bounty for yourself, and obviously you can't claim your own bounty. Others will try. These will turn up on the map as last seen areas, and upon completing them, you just need to return to Kajiro to get your reward money. So some of the returning things from the previous game are the altars and shrines, hot springs, fox dens, bamboo strikes. Haikus are out, now we have paintings instead. There are a lot of region-specific trophies and side quest trophies, but we'll get to them when we get to them. At this point, I have two options. I can continue with the story, or just do some exploring. Since this is an open world, I'm going to start exploring, get a lay of the land. I'm not going to go through every little thing that I do, otherwise we'd be here for days. So, aside from doing everything, here are some highlights of my adventures. This wolf will lead us on a wild chase to a trapper camp, which we need to liberate because the enemies are trapping wolves for their fur, and that shit's just not on. Out of my way, ducks! I'm following a wolf! Standoffs return again, of course. This time we can do it with a wolf friend, and that unlocks another trophy. Now we'll see this wolf from time to time. She is a big part of Atsu's story. She will continue to help in standoffs throughout the game, and the more upgrades we get, the more often you'll see this wolf help out. I'm going to go running with some undomesticated equines. I pat two rather dirty foxes at different moments, which isn't really that weird, but it's weird that it happened twice, right? Here I whistled for my horse, but instead it decided to run in the opposite direction. Okay, bye. I'm going to antagonize this bear. Uh-oh. 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 Whew. That won't be the last one I antagonize. I'm going to play a song while camping, and that's going to unlock Fireside Performance. Here we have our first shrine climb, and this takes us right up to the top of Mount Yotei, and we can actually get two charms here, Father's and Mother's charms. Mother's is okay, I keep Father's charm for the whole game because it's a parrying charm. The parrying and health charms are the best charms to have in the game, and I've said charms too many fucking times. And hey look, there's a trophy for getting that. And check it out, because I was up here and this Mount Yotei is a volcano, I'm going to look down into the caldera and I'm going to take a photo and unlock this trophy. I'm going to check behind the waterfall, always check behind the waterfall. Look, there's an altar here, of course there's something here. Still exploring, I stumbled upon a bounty, Crow Genzo. And this is where we get these yellow glints. We've got the red glints which are to be dodged and the blue ones to be parried, but these yellow ones are disarming attacks. So if they hit you with a yellow one, they'll knock the weapon out of your hand, which means then you have to go and bloody pick it up again. For the first time they knock the weapon out of your hands, it's very frustrating because they come at you very hard. You can fight barehanded, but you'll learn quick. So you'll either have to switch to another weapon or quickly rush over and grab your weapon that's been dropped. Once you get an upgrade, you can disarm the enemies. When they attack you with a disarming attack, you can get them back if you're quick enough and knock their weapon out of their hand. So that's pretty good fun. We get our first quick-fire weapon, which is blinding powder. These are pretty handy against brute enemies and bosses. We will need to get all of these quick-fire weapons for a trophy. I'm going to change my duds out to the Lady of the Snow White gear. I usually like to dress in black or very, very dark grey, but the white doesn't look too bad. I like this Lady Death look that I've got going here. Here I found an Ainu camp where there is a shooting mini-game. You got to shoot an arrow through all 6 of these hoops. You get 6 shots and 6 hoops. It sounds easy until they start throwing the moving ones at you. And I wasn't very good with the bow yet, so I had to try a couple times. And the only reason I'm doing this is because it gets me a trophy, a moment to breathe. We're going to liberate our first camp. We're going to have to liberate all the camps for a trophy, just like in the first game as well. And one of the bounties is actually running this camp. And here we've defeated him and almost liberated the place, and he calls extra bloody guards in. I assume they're trying to rescue him, but I never let it happen, so I have no idea what happens if they can grab him and take him away or what, so I don't know. Come across this innkeeper, and he introduces us to this to our gambling game, which I'm just going to call Flick the Coin, which involves flicking the coin. And after we mop the floor with him a few times at this game, he starts to offer charms. So we won a charm from him, and that gives us this trophy. Oh, your husband's sword. Well, thank you. I'll show me what it looks like. That's a piece of shit. Like, it's covered in fucking barnacles. Why would I want this piece of shit? I'm gonna piff this in the ocean when she's not looking. Just yeet it off into the fucking distance. We're really going with the Davy Jones motif for this one, aren't we? Moving on from the grasslands, I took a path up to the right, heading into Takachi Range, the next region. Here I meet another NPC, Taro, a child who's in the business of scavenging supplies from dead bodies, and business is good since Atsu supplies him with a steady stream of dead bodies. He also sells crap. At the first wolf den of this area, I am getting my ass completely handed to me by these guards. But if you're running low on spirit, you can crack a tinny of sake to replenish some of your health, and you can chuck your empties at your enemies. With a wolf ally nearby, this will cause them to attack the stunned guy to unlock the next trophy, wolf bait. And after a little while later, I had polished 10 of these bad boys off to unlock Sake Flight. Still randomly exploring, I came to Master Yoshida's dojo to learn the Adachi. We do some training, we fight some enemies, he teaches us the special moves, and eventually we have to help him defend his dojo, and that unlocks Way of the Adachi. Eventually we will start getting these offerings to the Onryo at each trading hub. We need to get 8 of these for a trophy. Trying to do this bamboo strike, I am accosted by 2 bears. It's a complete trap set up to get you attacked by these bears when you come to this bamboo strike, and it's absolutely fucking bullshit. Oh, let me get a fucking chance to attack them, you fucking fuck off. Have some fucking powder in the face, you fucking idiot. Oh, one of them's dead. Oh shit, it's grabbed me. Oh, you are fucking kidding me. Fuck off. But I just got fucking sick and tired of not being able to dodge out of the way of these fucking things. These 2 bears might actually be harder than any of the bosses in the game. When we take down these groups of outlaws or hunters, Atsu will usually leave the last one alive to be interrogated. And now that we've done that 10 times, we've got a trophy, very persuasive. This should come naturally unless you're avoiding fighting for some reason. I've cleared out most of 2 whole regions now, so it's time for a story mission. And now we're going to go and kick down the door to Saito's training camp. Saito is on the site inspecting his troops, so we travel all the way up there and we are so within range of assassinating him, but it does not go the way Atsu expects, because Saito's better than that. Instead, Saito decides, let's have a proper bloody duel, and all is going well until the dumbass Matsume clan show up and bomb the place, causing Saito to leave Atsu for dead again, and piss off to his castle. Hanbei saves us from the bombing, we get an upgrade. Now that Saito's not in the area, Atsu decides, well, let's go and hit up the Oni next. Now we gotta cross into Ishikari Plains, but we are stopped at the border by red tape because we don't have a permit. Luckily, a local beggar gives Atsu his pass because she was nice to him, and they let us through just in time to help them thwart an attack by the raiders. After that attack, Lord Kitamori sees how good Atsu is in a fight and asks for her help in finding some missing soldiers. We make camp for the night and he recognises your sword. Gesundheit. And oh my god, it's Jubai, your long lost brother. This unlocks the story progression trophy, Twin Wolves! Honestly, I thought that since we hadn't seen his fate at this point, that he would actually turn up as one of the 6, that he had been kidnapped and raised by them. Instead, he was saved and raised by a clan and became a samurai, whereas Atsu has always been a mercenary. This will lead the 2 into conflict. The next morning, Jubai takes Atsu to his camp, but they're not there for long, as the commander doesn't like Atsu, since she is nothing but a filthy mercenary. Jubai tells us of an inn in the area, and we make our way out into Ishikari Plains. With a new region to explore, I head on out and help this first guy find his horses. Looks like they've gotten stolen. I kill an enemy with his own weapon by throwing it back at him, getting "you dropped this" trophy. And I also got Charming for having a 10th charm upgraded. Certain charms have different levels to them, and achieving these goals will improve them, even if they aren't equipped. Over at Fire Cricket Canyon, I met Ina, the bomb maker. She will instruct us on how to use Scorch Bombs, another new weapon, and for the first fight we set the grass on fire, which kills a raider, to earn us Brush Fire. We meet up with her again at Bear Rock. We help her track down some explosives and take them back, completing her side quest and earning us Gift for Destruction. We come across Shiro the Swindler, someone on our bounty list, but instead of taking him in or killing him, he convinces Atsu to help him liberate this camp. Since it's full of gold money, he suggests, well, if you help me out, you can take some of the cash, yeah? So we storm into this place, I scare the piss out of a 20th enemy, unlocking the horror. And I had unlocked the ability to tackle enemies, and I used it on this poor bastard to send him flying. And I finished the camp off by fighting this guy and... What? Shiro the Swindler screwed me out of my money? The scumbag? Who could have predicted this? While taking a dip in this hot spring, a bear just casually strolls by. Oh, it's not going to attack me, is it? No, I don't really want to have a naked bear fight right now. The weapons master of this area is Master Takahashi, who teaches us how to use the Yari. After some training, he asks us to help free his students held prisoner at the lumberyard, and to free a metalsmith held at the forge so he can reopen his dojo and begin standing up to the Yotei 6 again. We have to liberate these anyway, so once that's done, I arrive back at his dojo. The altar here was my 30th, unlocking Moments of Reflection. This is only half the amount of altars, but there are no other trophies related. I'm still going to collect them all because that's how we upgrade. And while teaching us the final lessons, this place gets attacked, and just like the Adachi teachings, we have to defend this dojo, earning us Way of the Yari. I finally make my way into Ishikari Market, and we come to the bounty board and find a new one for Mad Goro. Goro has stolen the Oni's prized musket from him, and as such there's a bounty put out for him. Atsu is working on a way to get close to the Oni to kill him, and decides bringing Mad Goro and the musket in would be a really good idea. Given Goro's notoriety, Jubai joins us to help hunt him down. Killing other hunters along the path, we track Goro down, and sadly he's not wearing an eye patch or a snakeskin jacket. Atsu wants to interrogate him for information, but he is slimy enough to suggest he knows a lot more about the raiders' activities in the area. Jubai decides to take him back to camp for questioning since he's a good little Boy Scout samurai. This is the first of their general disagreements between Jubai and Atsu, and they part ways with Jubai promising to return with Goro and the musket. There should be a time jump here. The game probably assumes you went off to do something else, but this isn't my first open world, so I'm going straight back into the story. Jubai returns, but only with the musket. Goro is still being held captive by the Matsume. This irritates Atsu as only a sibling can, so she decides we'll take the musket into the Oni and we'll use you, Jubai, as the prisoner that I captured. Let's see how that works out for them. Atsu gets an audience with the Oni, and he brings her into his treasure vault, and she sees her father's scabbard, which she requests as payment. Unknown to her, this is completely giving her away. He sends us on our merry way, but we still need to sneak back in at night time to free Jubai now that he's been thrown in prison. So we duck back in to break him out, and we climb back into the Oni's vault and get busted immediately because, as I said, Atsu gave herself away completely earlier on, and subtlety is wasted on her. With all the soldiers of the castle now onto us, we gotta grab horse and bolt. Although not killing Saito earlier wasn't really her fault, this is now the second failed attempt at killing one of the Yotei 6. I'm beginning to wonder if Atsu is very good at this after all. Jubai is pissed off at her for her single-minded devotion to killing the 6, so he sulks off back to camp. Atsu shrugs this off and goes back to her original idea, which was to grab Goro, since he knew the secret way into the castle, and he can show her the way back in. Of course, he's still kept at camp, so she decides to sneak in and break him out. This all gets cut short when the Oni and his raiders turn up to attack the camp. Fighting our way through enemies, Jubai and Atsu are eventually defeated when the Oni blows up the bridge they're standing on. And it turns out in all that commotion, Mad Goro has escaped and is now pretending to be a priest. Presumably, more time in-game has passed at this point. We track him down again, we help him fend off some raiders, and he tells us of the secret path into the castle. This leads us into the caves under the castle, and we begin freeing the workers who help take up arms with us against the Oni. While Jubai goes off to free more prisoners, Atsu confronts him. The first part of this fight was okay. I was getting better at dodging these red attacks. His second round had me struggling a lot more, but after a few tries, I put him down. Atsu and Jubai then execute him together on Main Street, and we cross another name off our list. We have to catch 5 fish with a spear for spearfishing. And now we're going to head on to Teshio Ridge to find the Kitsune, but first we have to pass through the Nyoro Wilds region, or as I like to call it, the Ironwoods of this game. Now I call it the Ironwoods segment because it reminds me of that area in God of War Ragnarok, because the story comes to a complete and absolute fucking standstill. I think I actually felt the game slam its brakes on during this part. It's occupied by the Ainu tribe, which we have had some dealings with already. They are merchants floating around the place. There's no camps or bounties. There's bugger all enemies in this area. There are a few quests to do with the tribe. And they're all crap. There's one really poorly designed trek to avoid an unkillable bear that gives you no reward when you finally do it. There's a very generic Find the Thief mission, which we've already done about 100 times in this game already. Yawn. And the last one is where you have to wrangle everybody to sit down and have a fucking meal together, but just like in real life, every time you go and get one family member, the other family member fucks off to go fishing or bear hunting or whatever the fuck. But eventually we get them all to sit down and have a bloody meal together, and it does unlock this trophy, which I can't pronounce, and we can finally get on with the fucking story. We're going to join up with this group of merchants as we head into Teshio Ridge, the obligatory snow level. As a storm begins, we are ambushed by shinobi. We try to fight them off, but the Kitsune himself is there and hits Atsu with a poison kunai, leaving her to die in the snow. She does wake up and we fight our way through the cold to camp in a cave for the night, and in the morning we head out to find the inn that the merchants were talking about earlier. We get ambushed again by shinobi at a farm this time, but they are killed quickly by Hana. This is our NPC who shows us how to throw kunai and tells us that we should check out all the farms in the area. This will be her side mission, and we'll work on that once we get going. But first we arrive at the Red Crane Inn, where we are eventually approached by a local shamisen player, Ayuki. She tells us of this shinobi group known as the Ninetales, and how, it's the same as every other region, right? The locals don't like that the Yotei 6 are coming in to fuck shit up. And obviously Atsu wants to fuck up their operations as much as possible. Ayuki suggests that she might know of a way to track down some of the shinobi to find their hideout, and after going through 2 or 3 of these hideouts, following lead after lead, we get a final clue that suggests where the Ninetales are making their poison. And I'm beginning to wonder if Ayuki is actually the Kitsune this whole time, and she's leading Atsu in circles, because this lead after lead after lead, this will be interesting to see how this turns out. But I'm going to put the story on hold and go out and explore Teshio Ridge. This side mission has me helping out this guy looking for his brother, but for some reason the game didn't trigger the end of the cutscene here, so I spent about 2 minutes watching this guy vomit/dry heave, which is quite funny at first, especially with his brother just repeatedly shaking his head. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. After reducing the population of Snow's Blight hideout down to these last 5 shinobi, I claim the leader's sword, and this must have been my 30th vanity item because purely decorative unlocked. At Owl Mountain, I met Master Onomoto, the Kusurigama Master, and as usual, we learn from the Master first and then we fight some enemies. This means that we now have all the melee weapons to unlock Tools of the Warrior. And once we get a few upgrades on this, we can now do Kusurigama stealth kills to unlock the Owl's Talon. I rid the final farm of pesky shinobi for Hana, finishing her side quest and unlocking Kunai Defender. This blue dye merchant has some very nice black clothes for me, so I change out of my white Lady Death gear and into some black Lady Death gear. As an aside, the fast travel in this game might be the best fast travel I've ever come across. If it's on the map and you've been there, you can fast travel to it. And speaking of, I zip back to Enomoto for a final lesson, which leads us to help him defeat his grandson who had joined the Ninetales to finish out this mission and unlock Way of the Kusurigama. Now it's time to meet back up with Ayuki and find this poison garden. We sneak through this camp and into a hideout where they harvest the poison, and we find that the kitsune is at this spot, kind of blowing out my theory that Ayuki was the kitsune all along. But no matter, it's time for some killing. There's no way Atsu can possibly screw this third assassination attempt up. I fare rather poorly because I just cannot figure out how to parry or dodge the Kusurigama. The timing is just... I am fucking dog shit at the timing of this bloody weapon. Hang on. What? First Kitsune? Oh, you almost had me. I knew there was something up with her. Atsu is currently being poisoned and she is going to be so pissed when she comes to. So Ayuki treats her poisoning, and yes, she was originally the first Kitsune. We get a big chunk of backstory regarding her time with the Yotei 6, how they turned against her and replaced her with one of her students. She tells Atsu that once you're feeling better, you come to meet me here and we'll have a duel to the death if you really want to do this. So of course we turn up to fight her. But during this duel, she makes a strong case for her defense, saying that she does know how Saito works and thinks, and that having original recipe Kitsune on the team to train her defeat them might not be such a bad idea. Luckily Atsu isn't a complete moron, and they agree to hunt down Dojin together, who is the current Kitsune, and the remaining shinobi to further cripple Saito. Ayuki teaches us detective mode, and trains us in resisting the poisons that they use, and after all this training and one final duel, Atsu eventually decides to wipe another name off her list, and this closes out another storyline trophy for us, unlocking the woman behind the mask. I think we're going to have to start calling them the Yotei 3 at this point. We fight our way through the final base's worth of shinobi and confront Dojin. At the start of the second half, Atsu stands there and takes another kunai directly to the chest. Like, I know you've just been trained up in resisting the poison, but did you do any training on how to get out of the way of things? And although I suck against Kusurigama, he is the only boss fight I did not die to at all. Although I did spend a majority of the fight with the merest drop of health left. We say goodbye to Teshio Ridge and begin the second chapter. Using Ayuki's knowledge of the Six, we come into the final region of the game, Oshima Coast. The dragon and the spider, Saito's twin sons, are tearing the place apart, and it is the last main bastion for the Musume clan. So we meet back up with Jubai and we ride out with his men into what seems to be a full-blown invasion at this point. These riflemen are very coordinated, but they're still afraid of me. Making our way up these beaches, we acquire a musket and unlock Take Aim for getting all the long-range weapons, and we use it to cover Jubai as he puts an end to an execution firing squad. One of those people saved is Jubai's daughter Kiku, and I am starting to suspect that Jubai is not going to survive this. If Atsu and Jubai were both 12 on the night of the burning tree, and this is 16 years later, that would make them 28. And since Kiku looks to be the age that they were then, that would make her 12. So 28 minus 12 is... Oh, Jubai, you dog! Now our heroes split up, Jubai takes Kiku home, Ayuki heads out to find some lead on the spider, and we are once again by ourselves in the final region. Before heading out into this area, I'm going to quickly duck back home to upgrade the Wolfblade Katana for the final time, unlocking Like Father Like Daughter. There are no trophies for upgrading all the other weapons, but I did that anyway because I tend to use the Yari and the dual katanas more than the katana anyway. Right at the beginning of Oshima Coast is the last of the 5 reliquary puzzles. It wasn't until I came to the third one that I realised how fucking terrible I am at solving these damn things. It took me way too long to solve some of these. Completing this last one unlocks Child of the Mountain. This area being the smallest region hasn't got a lot to explore, so I go and visit Kiku and Jubai at home in their castle. We got to do some small bonding missions with Kiku, including picking some flowers. Why the hell would you pick orange, you stupid game? I didn't say that. Why would I want purple and orange unless I wanted my eyes to bleed? Stupid game. The dragon has taken a lighthouse, and it is decided that this is too good an opportunity to pass up, so we take the fight to him. But he escapes because the enemies in this game are smarter than the heroes. $1,000 for a map? What is this highway robbery? Who the fuck is buying these maps besides me? There are a lot of closures in the final region to the side stories and random encounters. One of the better ones is Mad Goro again, this time he's posing as a dentist. And we're also getting towards the culmination of a lot of these collectibles as well. And we finally get to pat our wolf friend. This is our final wolf den to unlock Wolves of Ezo. We fight this group to get our last quickfire weapon, which is the pistol, to unlock Quick Draw. This bamboo strike location keeps hitting me with lightning. I tossed all the weapons away and that seemed to fix the problem. I'm not sure if this was the last strike or not. Genji, the guy who's been improving my armor, needs our help to get back the last set of armor. Although I don't really use the armor all that much, I have been upgrading every set the whole time. We come to this tea house and I perform a pistol standoff, unlocking from the hip. And in the attic of this place, we find his final armor set hidden in a barrel of tea, unlocking for all occasions. That's for finding all 12 of the armor sets. And there's one that we found allows us to block gunfire, which is very helpful, and I will never use it again. I'm quite happy with the way I've been going so far. All of these outfits look like garbage anyway, but you don't come to me for fashion advice. Oisho Fishing Village is the last of the 22 camps to be liberated to unlock For the Living. Following this path leads me to the Stormblade. That symbol, where have I seen that symbol before? Hey, you can't steal my sword. Not today, guys. The reason these guys stole the Stormblade is that they consider it a relic to them, and Atsu has collected how many swords by now? There was a bounty earlier who collected swords from their fallen foes, and we killed him. Atsu, I think you might be the villain of this tale. Defeating him unlocks from one ghost to another. Yes, in case you haven't figured it out, this is Jin Sakai's sword, and apart from the amazing coincidence that Jin came to Ezo in his exile, it's nice to see a reference. We knew we were going to get one. Oof, that was too high a jump. Oh boy. What is this writing here? I'm assuming this might be the devs. I'm going to bow to them. Thanks, guys. By now, Oyuki has found a lead on the spider. He's up in his estate, and we want to capture him alive so we can use him to bait out the dragon. So we sneak in and find out that he's putting on a show about the Night of the Burning Tree, and this goes down like a lead balloon for Atsu, and she goes totally apeshit. The idea is to capture him alive, but no one said anything about capturing his guards alive, and Atsu goes through, and I counted, 26 of these guys. But we do successfully subdue him, and that finishes off another story trophy, Wrath of the Onryo. And then the game fucking spawns me into a fight with dog soldiers. Thanks! Jubai has finally decided that it might be a good idea to train Kiku up. Atsu's method of doing this is to belt her across the face with a wooden stick. Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. This is definitely a bonding mission / storyline with all these characters right before the end. Yeah, one of these people is not going to survive. With 3 main missions left, now is the time to go back and finish all the other things that I've missed. Earlier in Teshio Ridge, I was collecting all the puzzle boxes from the 9 Tails, and we need 12 of these. I'd only gotten 10, so I had to track down the last 2, and eventually cracked the last one open. I swear, if I had been holding this in my hand, I actually would have stepped on it by now to open this stupid bloody one. But that gives us Trickster Fox. Around the map there are these signposts to bow at, and we need to do 10 of these, and I did a mixed combination of ones with signposts and without signposts to unlock Speaking with the Land. I found my last 2 fox dens and then returned to the animal sanctuary for the reward Guardian of Inari. I needed to learn one more song for the shamisen. This one is a little random because you need to camp and hope a stranger will just turn up while you're camping and start talking about music. And I rarely ever camped because fast travel exists and there is just not much incentive to ever make camp. And that's why it's the last one for me, and that unlocks Like Mother Like Daughter. And I got all the paintings for An Artist's Eye. I'd also completed all the bamboo strikes and hot springs quite a while back, which meant I only needed to find some shrines. There weren't that many blank spots left on the map at this point, but I realised that I had missed the Chilled Peak shrine earlier when I had gone for one of the reliquary puzzles. I'd completely missed it, but upon finding that unlocks Body, Mind and Spirit. For the bounties, there was 1 left, and I couldn't find it on any of the boards. Turns out that I hadn't triggered an NPC meeting over in Moiwa Grotto, so I head on over and meet Tutor, beat him up, but I let him live. He chooses to completely ignore me and keep on killing, so I hunt him down and end him. I go and turn that in, and that unlocks Master Bounty Hunter. Something that I haven't mentioned until now are the Disciples of Takizo. These are 5 guys that are floating around that we must duel, and I had beaten them all by the time I had made it into the second area. When they're all done, you get approached by Takizo and asked to meet him on the beach, and there is a trophy for defeating him in a final fight. So we meet him down on the beach, and after 2 fights, because all duels have to have 2 fights. Alright, that's the second one. Are we going to unlock the trophy? Oh, okay. Okay, that's my misunderstanding. He likes that we gave him a decent fight and invites us to go for another duel on the top of Mount Yotei. For a final duel. I had already been to the top of Mount Yotei, so I could fast travel there very quickly, and I thought that I was good enough to take him on. I had already defeated all of his disciples. I had done plenty of bounties at this point. The only difference with this fight is we have to equip his charms, which is fine by me since I was using 1 or 2 of them pretty regularly anyways. Here is my first attempt. Whoa, that was fast. He's not fucking around. Son of a bitch has been holding back on me, this bastard. Hang on. Is he one-shotting me? Shit. I'm gonna have to come back to this. After Takizo defeats you enough times, the game even suggests maybe you should leave and come back later. After defeating the Oni, I did come back for a second attempt, and promptly got my ass handed to me yet again. I'm using up several bars of health before I even land a single hit on this guy. Nah, this guy's giving me end-level boss vibes. This guy's way too... There is no fucking way. I'm using up all of my health before I can even land a hit on him. Now we arrive at my 3rd and final attempt. I have completed almost everything in the game at this point, and I have maxed up my health. I have defeated all the bounties and duels. Surely I have learned enough, practiced enough, upgraded enough to be able to handle this guy, right? I'm not going mad, right? This guy is actually fucking difficult. This guy. Far out. I'm beginning to understand when people complained about the Valkyrie Queen. He can string together red and yellow attacks so quick and frequent that my arthritic knuckles can't keep up with this. His health barely goes down. He can't even be comboed because he reacts too quick. He can block most of my attacks, and the best I can do is get maybe 2 hits in before he just starts hitting back. Oh good, I'm so glad that quickfire weapons don't do jack shit to him. I'd been doing this for an hour. It felt like longer. I am so fucking sick of this. Jesus! Ah. No, I will not heal. Fuck you. That was a cheap shot. Fuck you. Nah, this is nah. Nah, this is more than just a skill check. I can occasionally last more than a minute, but I am not improving against this guy. No. I have to give them credit because I do feel like I can keep going and defeat him. But today is not that day, and I am not wasting any more time on this dickhead, so fuck it. I dropped him down to casual, wuss mode activated. The difference here is that he actually takes damage now and he barely blocks. So now I can be a bit more aggressive and take him down. We finally take him down and that unlocks Unrivaled. And I'm going to reset back to medium. Back to our story. We're going to publicly execute the spider so as to lure out the dragon. Or at least make it look like that's what we're going to do. Neither the dragon nor Saito take the bait, because it has been established repeatedly that they aren't idiots and the Matsume clan kind of are. Instead, they attack the castle from the other direction. The dragon does come looking for us, and now we are doing battle with him. And this is a suitably tricky fight. He freed the spider first, so that prick is firing at us the whole fight, which is fairly easy to dodge, but the dragon can use quickfire pistols, and this just feels cheap and bullshit. How dare he use the same abilities as me against me? That's not fair. That's 4. With him down, we go on to slaughter the rest of his troops in the castle. Jubei and Oyuki have been captured by Saito's forces, so we grab Kiku and take her back to the homestead where she can be safe. We return to Hanbei to seek some advice from him, and he helps Atsu figure out where the spider will be next. And after some dialogue and a chase, we finally get to duel with him. This was probably the hardest boss fight for me. It just seemed to take a long time, and he killed me more often than any of the others. It would also help if the fuckhead would stay on screen. He just keeps ducking out of screen. We learn where Saito is keeping Jubei and Oyuki, and we cross the spider off the list. Right before we hit the point of no return, I drop in to get the last offering to unlock gifts for a ghost. It is implied that almost all of the NPCs know Atsu is the Onryo. Was it a secret? We've made it all the way to Saito's castle, and I fight my way. I say fight because I completely fucked up the stealth to where Jubei is being held for execution. Atsu completely forgetting that less than 10 minutes ago we were using a prisoner to bait another enemy. That tactic does not sound very familiar to her. Oddly enough, freeing him isn't actually the trap that it looks like. We fight through more enemies to save Oyuki, and this is also not the trap one would assume it to be. Atsu is just happy to have saved them and wants to just go home, but twist! Guess where Saito is? I've got it. Oops! I missed the shot. Fucking guns take way too long to... whoops. So, we kinda get an explanation for why Saito instigated this whole thing. Sort of. It's almost so melodramatically mediocre that it borders on a Greek tragedy. Minus slight equals I must erase your bloodline from existence. Okay, mate. Saito is a weapons master, so he can use every weapon. But that's irrelevant. Oh, that was a scripted disarm. Okay, that's fine. Yep, called it. You can't die from a Star Wars stab like that. What's he gonna lose, a pancreas and a spleen? Big whoop. And that unlocks the Onryo rests. And that's Plat. Well, that was Ghost of Yotei, and I liked it. It sounds good, it looks good, I like Atsu and the other characters. While editing this, I pretty much watched it all back as a movie and I enjoyed it the second time around. And as for the trophies, this could easily be someone's first platinum trophy. So I would give this a healthy Game of the Year contender, but it probably won't win out of 10. Just before I go, I love trophy hunting and I love gaming, and I finally decided to teach myself how to edit these videos, and I really do enjoy this, but I welcome any suggestions, advice, ideas, etc. I do enjoy this, I will never stop gaming, so hopefully I can continue on with this for a while. But thanks for watching, happy hunting, and remember, don't forget to check behind the waterfall.